Most of us would agree that our world is constantly faced with a multitude of problems, from nations at war right down to our own personal troubles. Do you know why? Believe it or not, we're off track because we've forgotten the true God and His Word. Did you know that the vast majority of us can't even name 3 of the 10 Commandments? How about you? Just think for a moment how this secular world has intruded into your life. You tired of your job? Overworked? What about enough time for your family? How about enough time for yourself? Studies have shown that stress is at an all-time high. Now here's the turning point. Your lifestyle is pushing God out and breaking you. Have you realized that you can't solve your problems with the same old failed attempts? Aren't you ready for a real workable solution? Now there's a guide for your life. It lies in the commandments of God. Now wait a second, listen for a moment. These aren't worn out principles for a bygone age. God's Word applies today as much as ever. Jesus Himself said, "I have come that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly." You see, the Bible and God's commands are your guidebook toward the abundant life He wants you to enjoy. You want answers and meaning to be in your life? Well, isn't it about time that you put spiritual matters first? That's what Jesus Himself taught. Seek Him first, and you can count on His help with your life. Do you have your priorities in the right order, or have you forgotten something? What would your life be like if you were to start keeping even just one of the 10 Commandments? Now here's one you cannot afford to forget. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Now that's not talking about Sunday, but the 7th-day Sabbath, from Friday sunset to Saturday sunset. Observing the true Sabbath would make a remarkable difference in your life. It's a time for you to take a break. Regardless of how busy your week may be, it's intended to be a special time for your whole family. You know, we all need rest, and coming to a complete halt is what the Sabbath's about. To totally stop what we're doing and take time to rest, reflect, take stock of our lives, and worship God. God designed the Sabbath for just that purpose. In fact, Jesus said the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Therefore, the Son of Man is also Lord of the Sabbath. So it was made for all mankind, even you. Now, isn't it amazing that Jesus taught that He is Lord of the 7th-day Sabbath, not Sunday or any other man-made religious day? Now, I could go into all kinds of proofs why the true Sabbath is a day of worship. I could give all the texts showing that Christ Himself kept and taught the observance of His Sabbath. I could give the historical details of how the Catholic Church changed the day of worship only by its own authority. But you can look that up for yourself. Now, here's the point. Jesus, the apostles, and the true church of God have always taught Sabbath observance. Now, you may be thinking, what's the big Sabbath deal? So what? What difference does it make? Well, God tells us that it's a big deal. It's one of the big 10 that so many often forget and overlook. In fact, He says, "Whatever I command you, be careful to observe it. Don't add to it or take away from it." Jesus tells you that if you'll adapt to His way of life, He'll give you true rest from your burdens. Do you realize that God promises you blessings for obedience? Not just physical things, but real, tangible, spiritual blessings. So ask yourself, is God out of the picture of my life? You need to get your priorities right and develop a spiritual relationship with God. Don't forget, start this week. Remember the Sabbath and keep it holy.